is usually through having understanding and trust, but especially realizing that letting go of fear. There are many types of fear. The fear of the future, the fear of failure, the fear of others, the fear of sickness, the fear of death, the fear of difficulties, even the fear of my own self. How to overcome fear is usually through having understanding and trust, but especially realizing that everything that happens has a benefit. And so it's of no use to be afraid or even complain of the past or to over-focus on what's wrong, and just to live in the present moment with faith. Fear has two sisters, doubt and worry. Sometimes these three things are compared to dragons in the mind. Fear, doubt, and worry, when they are all together, bring me out of balance and I lose my sense. And I am overcome by negativity. And instead of trusting, instead of communicating, instead of accepting, I become stagnant. I become even impulsive and start to act and think even irrationally. I have to let go of fear, because too much fear makes me imagine too many things. I need to talk to myself, because fear makes me waste a lot of energy. Let me talk to myself and realize that I must now become a student of life. Let me have a learning consciousness, and that everything that happens in life and into me has a hidden benefit. When there are crises in life, it is actually a time also for new opportunities. If I am able to step back and not identify with what's wrong, if I am able to keep myself calm and trusting inside, then I'm able to communicate with the situation. I'm able to communicate with my own thoughts and tell them, let's see, let's wait. Not to judge too quickly or too easily that something is negative, that something can't work. Everything can work. It needs its time, and it needs the cooperation of my faith, the cooperation of my confidence and trust. When we accept what we don't like, when we accept it, then we start to open to find solutions. Things don't become barriers anymore. People don't become my enemies. All are my friends. I don't have any enemies. And instead of walls, I start to build bridges. Every day, let me build a bridge. Every day, let me destroy a wall rather than making it higher and thicker. let me stop that type of building and realize that when I reach the hearts of others, then they open. When I stop disliking, rejecting, and yes, even fearing others, I emerge a positivity within them, and they build a bridge towards me. Instead of fear, let me have faith. The power of faith enables me to have a vision of what's good, of what's possible. And when I have a vision that is an understanding of what is good, of what is possible, let me remain with that in my mind. Let me hold that positive vision. It doesn't matter if I do not understand how it will happen, when it will happen, can it happen. If I hold that positive vision within my mind, gradually it will start to materialize in my life. All things are possible to those who have this power of faith. And very easily faith cancels not only fear but doubt and worry. Let me live a moment at a time. Let me live in the present, not in the past, not in exaggeration, not in the opinion of others, not in what could be or should be or must be. Just let me live in respect of the moment.
Good evening. So I know you guys like that meditation of Brother Anthony. So it's Slaying the Three Dragons, his book on fear, doubt, and worry. So just quickly starting this. Okay, so wonderful. So thank you, and so today we're continuing the series on freedom, and today's topic, true liberation. And it's lovely to reflect for ourselves what reflection means, because often in the world, many feel that liberation is about doing what I want to do. I should be allowed to do what I want to do, and so that's one understanding of what true liberation is, and for me, this whole aspect of freedom and true liberation is to really be free from any external influence or dependency. And so when I can stay rooted in who I am, and in that original natural state, and I choose that. So rather than get influenced and affected and dependent on everything externally. And so that inner freedom that lies in nothing physical, but just in being. And often you hear the stories of, the birds who clutch onto, the branch saying, I want to fly, I want to fly, I want to be free, but they clutching on. And so how often, what do we clutch onto that prevents us from experiencing that true freedom and liberation? And there may be many, many aspects, thinking patterns that we clutch onto, beliefs that then we feel bound and chained. And I used to always love that image when I'm feeling too overwhelmed, that I should just drop everything and become this tiny light. And you know how you have maybe a metal net over you and slide through the net. And so I know it's quite funny, but but sometimes when you're feeling there's so much to do, even that's a chain, no? The shackles. And so I used to just feel, okay, I become nothing but this little light, and I'll just slide through a little net, and out I am free of my thoughts, because often it's your own thoughts, isn't it? And so yes, so it's not only expectations of others, but it can be expectations of yourself as well. And so yeah, I used to love that image of dropping it all as often as I can, and just coming back to my core, my essence, my peace, my power, my truth, my freedom. And that lies in being me, beyond all these acquired identities and roles that I may feel the pressure of, And so, yeah, so today's topic is more on that true liberation, and and that moving from external in expectation to that inner freedom. And yeah, and so liberation, not something that I want to achieve, but it's almost like letting go and remembering and choosing as often as I can in the day. So people often wait for freedom or liberation, but it's not the product of some hard work. It's just the aspect of letting go, to remember and to choose again to stay in my peace, my power, not trying to control everything and everyone outside of me, because if I try to do that, I will continue to be restless and peaceless, because my state of experience depends on another, and or a circumstance or a situation. And so how in life, I take my peace to everything. It's not that I wait for things to bring peace to me. And often, we may be waiting for that peace externally, but if I drop everything and tap into that peace, then I take my full self to the task, to the situation, to the circumstance, to the relationship. And so something to reflect on. And in terms of just, an opening thought, what expectations shape your daily decisions? So what expectations that you have almost shape your daily decisions, such that if that expectation is not met, it affects my day as well. Something to think about. Maybe you can jot it down or share, so what expectations, maybe spoken or not even spoken, shapes your daily decision? Any thoughts? Maybe expectations of yourself, it may be expectations of another, or circumstances, or the weather. So it could be so much that shapes my daily decisions. And then I will be bound, isn't it? Because as long as I have all these expectations and life is not going as as per my expectation, then I feel trapped and I feel imprisoned by that circumstance, that situation, and just to see how we don't really flow with the drama of life, isn't it? We have lots of expectations of the drama of life, and we think we so flowy, we're so peaceful, but can anything happen and does it shake you? I was just remembering, so we were in India, and we had done a training in Delhi, and then we were going to go to Mount Abu, and the train was to leave like midnight, one-ish. And so we got to the train station, and then we find out the train is 4 hours delayed. And this was in 2007 in rural Delhi. And there was, the bathrooms were quite interesting. And so we could see we were in the middle of nowhere because it's a little station. And before we could say anything, one of the nurses, a Dutch nurse who helps with our hospital in Mount Abu, she said, "Wonderful drama." And so, so before we could even breathe to complain, she ended it. And so I think living in India for all that time, she learned how to say wonderful drama to everything. Because, and so I was just thinking how I may still expect of the drama, and I want things a certain way. And if it doesn't go that way, I break, isn't it? Not like a reed that can bend. I break. And so, expectations, if I hold expectations, I break, So no matter what's happening in the drama of life, I don't hold on to it, but flow with the drama to see how there is benefit even in this. And then I wouldn't be so broken and shackled and bound, but I'll be free because nothing affects me. Like the bird, no? We all love watching birds because they just glide and turn and go with the wind, and it's like not a care in the world, and amazing creatures. And so no matter what is happening, what are my expectations, and can I really see how I hold so much expectations of the drama of life from morning till evening, even expectations of my body, how it must function, it cannot be tired, and and even when somebody's aging, they cannot accept that they're aging, so I mean, it's true. Sorry, lots of the ladies laughing in here. but
Tell me about it.
yeah, so and then having harsh words to the poor body that's only playing its part, and entropy is the law of nature. But with loving kindness to accept rather than expect. And so so true liberation is to be free of any external expectations. And then I can say wonderful drama to everything that happens in my life. And I just thought, wow, I learned a lesson in that one statement, how we can learn so much just by observing how one little statement can shift the energy of a whole bus of people who are going to complain for the next 4 hours until the train came. And so, yes, so true liberation, freedom from expectation, and just to think, what are some of your expectations? What are some of your expectations? Anything? You want to put it on the chat? Or anyone wants to share in the room? Yeah. Expectations that shape your daily experience. You want to share?
Embarrassing.
It's too embarrassing. It's okay. Okay, anyone
I'm
else?
thinking of like if you order something and send it out to deliver it, and then they don't.
Yeah, so if you order something and they say they're going to deliver it and they don't, yeah. Yes.
Fit with it.
Yeah, you expected it. And so quite fixed. Even if you don't need it today, you don't even need it tomorrow, but you lose your peace. Yeah, 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 yeah. And so yeah. And you want to share?
Expectation you have of others,
Yeah.
you know, even family,
Yeah.
your daily,
Yes. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
maybe certain responses.
Yes.
To take on certain responsibility.
Mm.
And when it doesn't happen, it's like,
Yes. Yes.
filling balance in the day.
Yeah. So expectation of people to take on certain responsibility, and and expectation of their responses, even family. And so how, it can press your buttons, trigger you, because what do I take from that relationship, and how dependent am I? Because as long as I'm dependent on anything or anyone, I can't experience that state of peace and true liberation. And so peace is not just sitting in a cave, but it's like in the world. Can I, be flexible to be emotionally stable and powerful, and not needing, but responding to everything that comes. And so there's many subtle bondages, and just a few. One is approval dependency, where many are always seeking approval and thinking, what will people think? So that is a bondage. So they live life according to society and what people would think. Another aspect where we may feel, uh, um, sorry, yes, somebody's agreeing that she also, uh, sorry, let's see, somebody. Somebody is sharing expectations lead to disappointment, and Rosemary saying, "I'll be happy if the traffic is smooth. I'll be happy when people agree with me." And so you can see how we're so dependent on that. And then I expect my friends and family to keep their promises, especially if I am waiting for them to fulfill it. And so, yes, a lot of expectations and such bondages. And like we're sharing, one of them being approval dependency, where I'm dependent on what people think and I live my life according to that. And accordingly, it's a large trap, because freedom is also that free expression of your innate self, like that bird, it's not thinking, if I fly here, if I fly there, and I should fly like this. And but it's quite free, and quite a wonderful example of connecting to its experience and moving through the sky. And another is a bondage is role identification. I remember I shared uh, the aspect of role identification, where Daddy Janki, at the age of 94, she became the head of our organization at the age of 94. And the organization was maybe 1 million already. So she's the head of this organization of 1 million people, of daily meditators. And so, she had to move from the West back to the East. She was known in the West, but not in the East, and the values are different. East, more love based, not wisdom, which she was an embodiment of. And so suddenly she had to learn about love at 94, and how to hold people with love, not with her powerful words, which she was an embodiment of. And so, and I remember somebody asked her, Daddy, now that you are, the chief administrator of the Brahma Kumaris, how do you feel? And she said, if you're role conscious, you'll keep rolling. so I loved it. And it's just, you wouldn't forget it, no? So how role identification, also a subtle form of bondage, because I'm not my role, I just am. I'm not my profession, I'm not my position, I'm not my possessions, I'm not my people. All of that stresses people out, isn't it? I belong to this family or that culture, and I have to do it this way, and then you put all these expectations on yourself, and it kills you. And so yes, so this aspect of role identification as well, and how it is a bondage. So can I be free of even that bondage in every interaction? I'm just me. I'm peace, I'm love, I'm this little amazing energy of light, and I'm meeting my fellow being, also with that attention. And then there's freedom of expression. I remember once I was working with the best hand surgeon in the world, and I didn't know it, so I was just holding the instruments while he does his cutting. And this was in Westminster in London, and I'm having a jolly conversation with him, and it was about like it was spiritual actually, and he was speaking, and then after that the other young doctor said, how could you speak to him like that? So I said, well, he's just a human being. And so but this feeling that if you hold on to roles, then you don't allow the best of yourself to emerge and the best of another to emerge. And so it's also a bondage, and so to be connected to that beautiful innate original identity, and within that is deep freedom in every experience. Then there's no fear like they had with this man, but there's just that freedom to be yourself. And then another aspect and subtle form of bondage is emotional attachment to successful outcomes. And so how often we put so much stress on ourselves instead of being ourselves in the task. We're so attached that the outcome must be successful, and we stress ourselves out. And maybe if we stressed less and weren't attached to the outcome, naturally we'd have even a better outcome. And so I'm quite guilty of that. so feeling that you have to do your best and you have to get it done, and so that can be quite a bondage and a trap, because all I have to do is stay connected and do my best, but also know when to let go and recharge, replenish, not just keep going, but that great balance that is needed. And so that subtle bondage. And so yes, somebody's sharing here, true freedom is letting go of outcomes. It's about taking action and then releasing expectation to the universe. Yes, lovely. So I do my best and I let go, and I have these boundaries, so that I know when to stop, when to start, to prioritize my energy in the task rather than the task and wanting it to be perfect. And so that can create a lot of anxiety and bondage. And so to realize that bondage is not something external, it's not the task, but it's my approach to it. It's not the role, but my approach to it. It's not people, but I choose to please people. And so in a way, it's me. It comes back to me, and that's great that it comes back to me, because if it comes back to me, then I can work on myself. But if it's dependent on others, then they are in power. And so so this aspect of bondage, not being outside, but this belief that I need something, externally to feel complete. So that is the bondage, that expectation of something externally to feel complete or to go my way so that I'm okay. And then great dependence, So it's almost as if everything should collapse, but I still should be whole because, as a non-physical being, I am whole, even if everything collapses. So often, things collapsing is also training you to be whole, no matter what happens. So in life, we're getting this training more and more nowadays because we cannot depend on many things or people anymore. So to realize that I am complete and I don't need things externally to make me complete. And maybe it's good to look at a little reflective question so you can personalize it for yourself. And I want you now to reflect on a situation that is causing distress. So a situation that is causing some stress for you or distress. Any situation, because every day we might have lots. So what situation may be causing stress? And ask yourself in that situation that's causing stress, what am I expecting here? So what am I expecting here? Yeah, so to reflect on that. And who am I trying to please or control? Who am I trying to please or control? Wonderful for everyone to reflect on this. Because often we don't even know we're having these expectations. Anything came up? Yeah. You want to share anything? Okay, yeah.
Negative towards people who have treated me badly.
Yeah. So
I'm thinking one of the expectations I came up with, expecting to be liked.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Not liked.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone have anything else to say?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like feeling negative towards people who did not treat me well. And it's like a rejection, no?
Yes.
Yeah. And so feeling rejected.
Yes.
Yeah. And so
And expecting to be liked.
and accept. Yeah. Expect to be accepted. Yeah. Yeah. Expecting to be accepted and loved.
Yeah.
Yeah. And supported. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a primary need of human beings.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and it's good to name it and then to realize, do I really need people to accept me all the time? But it's a big trigger, that one. It's a huge button. Yeah, yeah. And, it's like anything can trigger that and your mind can go crazy. But it is an expectation of people outside, which you will never have control over. And so that importance of feeling whole and complete in yourself, and then when I feel that, almost these repeated training, like we said, won't come to test me anymore because I'll be developed in it. So because of that feelings of rejection, that is a trigger. If you throw away the button, nobody can press it anymore. But so that is why I need to replace it with deep self-acceptance, and also feeling that I belong, even if I don't feel I belong to this group of people, but I belong to a higher energy, and that love that needs to develop for the self and from a source, such that I'm not triggered by people's behaviors. Because not everyone can see the picture like you can. Maybe you're the type who holds everything together, but yeah. So that expectation of others being accepting and keeping everyone together. Yeah. So yeah, but it's still an expectation of another. So it's still external, and you'll never be able to control that. And it would be your trigger till you die if you don't sort it out, because yeah, because you cannot control others, and they have their stuff. Yeah. And sometimes it could be based on a small experience of abandonment sometime, that is just recurring, but almost that healing that needs to take place in your relationship with yourself. And to feel whole, and then free, isn't it? So liberation that comes with that. And so definitely, like, a turning point for liberation is to realize that I have a choice, and that I cannot always change people or situations, but I can always choose my response and my positioning. So I'll be chasing after people forever, trying to get them to like me or accept me, or this one of the approval dependency, where I'm always needing approval, but it's because again, then I'm trying to change them, but I will never be able to change them, but I can always choose to change my response, to the situation, and my own positioning. And so definitely that freedom comes when I'm not dependent, and I withdraw from that misplaced dependency, and I come back to my original self, so that original self that is free, that is loved, that is peaceful, that is powerful, content, and free. So yeah, like that bird, clutching onto the branch and wanting to fly, so to realize that I can just let go and fly, but clutching onto the branch, I'm holding on. And you've often heard of stories with animals where they also like have a cage, that's created. And even when they remove the barrier, the animal that was only walking in half of the space, even though the barrier was removed, they keep walking in half of the space, not realizing the entire space is for their use. And so we've gotten into that habit, of limiting ourselves, that habit of those expectations and complaining about the drama and people, and when it's in my hands to let go, so it's very easy when something happens to just start complaining, and everyone complains, that's the order of the day, but everyone's miserable. So do I want to stay as miserable because I'm busy complaining about it, rather than I can choose to be free. I can choose to, to flow with the drama, to see where it's taking me, and there might be a better opportunity at the end of the rainbow, and so to look at it in that way as well. And so yeah, so definitely liberation starts when I withdraw from all these expectations, and I can return to my original self. But that also requires a lot of reflective time. So it's good to make time to see yourself, to see your expectations, just to journal a lot, to understand why I may be so rigid, inflexible, always challenged by a certain trigger. What is it? Where does it come from? So that I can be free of that expectation, rather than playing that same record. And and so to know that I can choose to be in control, not of anyone else, but of my own state only. And so that's the only control I have. And to choose, self-respect over approval, and acceptance over control. Can I choose to accept rather than control? And so maybe for one day, just practice, I accept, and then make one day into 2 days, and then 21 days, and start a new habit of your experience with things outside of you. I remember, many speak about the gratitude journal. So I remember once I had gone on a retreat, and the entire retreat, I just was feeling so grateful for every second, and just saying that in my mind, and it felt so uplifting. So similarly, take this one thought of I accept, and can I practice it for a few days and see how it could really take a few years off my shoulders. And so how we allow ourselves to be burdened and in bondage because I'm not choosing to accept. And so so maybe another little question for you to reflect on. What in life can I choose to be liberated from today? Maybe a thinking pattern. So what in your life do you want to choose to be liberated from today? And for this, what will you let go of? And then, so one expectation I release. So to write that down, one expectation you release, and one quality you reclaim. Feel free to share if you wish on the group chat. So anyone wants to share anything that came up? Or you want to just look at that for yourself, and practice it?
I'd like to share a realization
Yeah.
that I would like to give up the need for approval and actually start choosing self-acceptance more. So I think this was a really good exercise for me today.
Wonderful. So choosing self-acceptance and letting go of the need for approval. Yeah. Because it's really a cage, that we trap ourselves in. And it's by choice because the door is open wide, but I choose to stay there because it's expectation and a habit that I've created that keeps me bound. Yeah. Because often so many are not expressing their true selves because they caged in the expectations and needing for people to feel that they belong. But we do belong, you know. I don't have to fit into a mold to belong, but I do belong. I belong first to myself and to a higher energy. And whether others feel I belong to them or not, I also belong to them. It's okay. So but the first relationship is with myself. So if I feel I belong to me, I can be me no matter what. And so yeah, so thanks for sharing, and thanks for sharing that with the group so you remember it, and you can claim that for yourself over the next forever, over the next forever. Yeah. So yeah, anyone else? Anything that you're thinking of or want to share? Yeah.
So the difficulty of others having an expectation of you. So while you may not have the expectation, they have this dependency and expectation of you and how to shift that. So that
Yes.
That pressure really.
Yes.
They are expecting from.
So the question in the room that maybe you're not having expectations, but people have expectations of you, and it sort of keeps you in that cage as well, their expectations of you. And so how to shift that so that they stop having those expectations. And I guess you could do it gradually, but to have the courage to do it, that's the question. Do you have the courage to make a change? And they may not like it initially, but that's okay. They'll get used to it and they'll begin to respect it because you've chosen it and you respect it. But with what faith do you do it? Or with a bit of guilt and I don't know, and doubt and worry and anxiety. So so to choose what you want and do it, to create a new pattern. And it may take, feeling others may reject you, but are you comfortable with the rejection as well? Or is it that which keeps you doing what you may want to break free of, that fear of rejection? So, but you can only experiment, but you have to choose it with absolute determination, and courage to live it. And practically there's always a possibility to to something. It's not that anyone's indispensable, but we often feel we're indispensable. Without me, it won't happen. So that's something to also check. What false belief is ruling such that you stay caged there, even though it's not healthy for you. Because there are definitely other ways that can be explored, but maybe everyone's just used to this pattern. And so So to sit with it and work it out for yourself, because you can't change them, but you can change what you do, and slowly they'll start seeing the new you and letting you be the new you. But if you are fearful and stay stuck, and then that's a choice as well. Don't know, does it make sense? Yeah, yeah. But is it what I want? And how much do I want it? Because often we like to play the same old song. I'm so needed. And without me, so because somehow we used to that, and we take something from that, and it's something to look at, because some people are so free and some are so burdened. and it's a choice each one has made, in their life. I see there's also a question like that, I think, in the group. Um, Feeling that one cannot say that I cannot expect, it doesn't make sense when I have standards of behavior and performance, how to treat each other naturally, expectations and work ethic, and the freedom, carelessness, no worry of the flying bird. Not so. The bird has worries, has concerns, re-survival. So help me. So yeah. So yeah. This feeling that if I always do what I've always done, I'll always get what I've always got. And so for me, it's about doing the best and then letting go and developing better boundaries. Definitely, because sometimes we just don't know how to do that, and to explore how I can do that so I can be free and create a new pattern that will be respected. And I can't control anyone else with regard to their work ethic and what they do, but I can just pay attention to myself and what I do, but not letting it take over my life in terms of having no balance. So I don't know if I'm sharing, because the question was long and I wasn't sure if that I got the question, but yeah, that is what I'm thinking with regard to that question. We can't control others and what they do, but I can control myself and what I do. I was doing a nice meditation with some staff at a tertiary hospital, and it was so beautiful. But it's like that I am peace. It was on peace at work, and thoughts may come, they come and deliver a message, but I stay rooted in my peace. And as I was doing it, I was also worried about something. And so as I was practicing it, it's about this training that I'm busy with. But as I was doing it, I thought, this is so nice. The thoughts can come, they give me a message, but I let them float away. But I am peace, And so it's not easy, but if I don't practice it, I will take my worrisome habits with me forever. And so yeah, so can I stay in my peace? Tasks will come, I do it to the best and they go, and another day comes and I do it to my best and they go. But I'm not my task, I'm not my role, I'm not my people, I'm not attached to the outcome. I am just because I am, and so to trust that that is true liberation, where I'm not attached or dependent on anything external. And if there is anything external that is creating stress, can I choose to let go of it and claim my power again, and my response to the situation, and claim my peace and my freedom back. And so it takes a lot of work, but to begin reflecting on this for yourself and how you can begin to break some of those bondages. I come back to that little image that I have when I'm feeling a bit too burdened with trying to achieve perfect tasks. That is just, become that little light and just fly through the metal chains that may hold you down in terms of your thoughts, the lattice of your thoughts, about perfectionism and stress to perform or an outcome or, all of those acquired, they are the bondages that prevent the true freedom. And just be free and stay in your power, connect to a higher power, and let that flow into the situations, the circumstances, the relationships. So, with regard to time, let me do a meditation then on this topic of true liberation and freedom, and then we can close. I don't see any other questions. So just to sit comfortably and relax. And as I'm seated here now, I invite my entire body to become totally relaxed from the top of my head to the tips of my toes. If there's any tension from the day, any extra thoughts of the past, of the future, I just let them go. And I tune into that peace that I am. I may see it as a star of peace in the center of my forehead. So still, so calm, so free, so light. And this tiny light is beyond everything, even the shackles of my thoughts. I am free. I need nothing from no one. I am complete in this experience of my true nature. Peace and light and power and love. I have everything I need within me. Let anything happen in the drama of life. I have no expectations, but I shine even brighter, sharing some light, some peace with that scene or situation. Free from dependency, from expectation, because I am whole. I need nothing. In the experience of this light, I'm everything I need. And sometimes if I'm feeling a bit of a gap, let me just bask in the light of that ocean of love and light. And top up and overflow. as I flow with the drama. I do my best and I let go. Thank you. Have a good evening.